Let's take a look at SOLIDWORKS electrical schematics in 2019. Here I've got a standard project of mine. It's a cabinet layout and I've got my main panel, I've got a motor powering a conveyor, and this cable that connects between the cabinet down here and the motor is going through the floor tray to meet it. This is just screenshots from SOLIDWORKS, but really useful just to help picture what the project is all about. I've also got a drawing list or a contents page, and this will update based on the documents I have in the project. So you're not doing this as a manual task yourselves, it will update based on the contents. We've also got the ability to do single line diagrams within SOLIDWORKS Electrical. What this enables us to do is to plan out a job, so we could actually place down standard blocks from a standard library, connect them up to things like terminal blocks, and the lines that connect them are actually cables. So if I click onto this one here, you can see I've got a 4-core cable, and if I click on the connections, it shows you very clearly where things are connected from and to. So the system is all geared around an SQL database. That database contains parts, it contains cables. We've also got libraries for symbols as well. So all standard IEC symbols are included with the software. These are just DWG files though, so you can actually add to the library and configure new content if you so wished. We also have the ability to draw pneumatics and hydraulics circuits to a basic level, making use of all of the standard symbols in the library. We can also draw multi-line schematics. So here I'm going to very quickly draw in a 3-phase circuit. I'm also going to draw in a spur coming down the page. It's very quick and easy to draw wires onto a schematic. The library that's supplied is fully customizable as well. So if I was to look into that, this is something we can easily change to suit a customer's requirements. One of the main areas I like to focus on is the formulas. So for each type of wire, you can set up a formula. This could be a numerical formula. It could be maybe making use of the section of the wire, or maybe what it's connected to as part of that formula. But this is great. It's fully customizable, and it means that you're no longer manually numbering your wires on your schematic. We can just click a button and it updates automatically. I can also make use of existing symbols, and I can drag and drop these onto my drawing. And these are actually linked to parts already, which I'll show you in a second. So it's very quick and easy just to drag and drop, place items onto the sheet, and build the circuit that I want to use. These particular components have been placed once and just dragged into a library. So I could have a library of standard breakers, contactors, motors, all different types of parts, could be drawn once and then dragged and dropped into a palette, which really speeds up design reuse and drawing up a schematic. We've also got some great terminal strip tools. So this motor is actually plugging into a terminal block, which I can add in a few clicks. Within the settings of this terminal strip, I can actually start to manipulate, okay, well, what parts actually are these? I can link into my database, which is SQL based. I can choose things like manufacturer, so these are going to be Wago terminals. I can maybe search by the number of circuits. I can maybe search by the number of terminals, or other technical values as well. Even the part number, if I knew that, I could search by. Once found, this gets added onto my project, and this will now update in my bills of materials in SOLIDWORKS Electrical. I can also say that rather than individual wires, this is going to be a cable. And again, we have another standard database applied full of cables. I can search by standard items, so maybe section, number of cores, select a suitable cable, and finally just select the cores that I want to use. This all updates within the terminal strip dialog. It also updates on my schematic. I can even publish a drawing sheet which shows me all the connections in a graphical format. This is great for wiremen to follow and gives them all the information they need to be able to wire up this on a physical prototype. Again, in the software, it's really quick and easy to reuse parts of a circuit. I can simply box select items, copy them, and paste them. And this gives me brand new components. I've even got 4 new terminals on the same terminal block, a new cable and motor, and I can just very simply update my terminal block drawing to represent the new connections on that terminal strip. Again, the click of a button, the document's updated. The same also applies to reports. So whilst I'm designing this, my bills of materials is updating. I've got various components, motors, breakers, terminals, all updating in the background. So it's no longer a separate task to have to produce your Excel spreadsheets. All of the bills of materials, or parts lists as you may know them as, is updated in the background of the project. Also, all my wire list and connections is updated, all fully hyperlinked. So if I had a complex project with multiple documents, I could actually click on these and it would take me straight to where the connection is within the project. There you can see a hyperlink in action. We've also got cable lists and also cable core lists, which all update in the background. There's many more reports. I'm just showing a small subset of them here. We can also produce tag reports for wires and components, maybe PLC outputs and inputs as well on a report. These can all be published as a sheet within the project or perhaps exported to other formats. Now it's been produced, let's take a look at some of those documents. So I've got my bills of materials all updated. We can change the formatting of all of these reports very easily, change columns, change sizes, have a continuous report rather than a broken up report. And the reports even come with hyperlinks as well, which also carry through to the PDF output, which we can do, which is great for people that haven't got the software. Maybe for managers to approve documentation, or maybe for people that are out in the field servicing equipment. The hyperlinks are accessed at the click of a button, which means that the document is fully navigatable by using those clicks. Just to show that output, as I'm talking about it, if I quickly do a PDF to my desktop, you'll see all those hyperlinks come through. It prompts me as well to update my reports at the same time, so it's very difficult to actually publish a document which isn't up to date. You can actually see that everything is up to date in the project. I've got my wires, I've got components. Where there's wire links across sheets, these can be clicked onto and navigated between. We can also represent PLCs. We have a standard configurator for PLCs that can be represented on a schematic drawing. We can also click onto symbols and it takes us to where they exist in the project. So I can see all elements of the PLC at the click of a button. Going back to my schematic, I can also make use of other macros. So a macro could also be part of a circuit, not just a component on its own. So this is great if you have any bits of standard circuitry within your designs. You just draw it once, save it into a library palette, and drag and drop to reuse it. And it will always be the correct marks included. The macros are clever enough to realize what's already in the project, what's being used, so you always get unique marks within your design. We can also link across sheets, as I showed you on that PDF. We've got a tool whereby we can actually click onto one of the wires, click onto a second sheet, and we get the connectivity coming through throughout the project. These have a formula applied automatically, showing sheet, column, and row. They're bidirectional and be clicked onto to show where the connections are going from and to. We can also number the project. I talked earlier about the formulas that are used. We can just click a button, it reads in all those formulas and gives everything a unique ID in the project. Phase 1 to 3, you can see have their own prefix, L1, L2, L3, whereas other wires are maybe just numerical. The numbering continues across the project and is all synchronized really well within the package. So it's saving you a lot of time and effort. A lot of the manual tasks that you may be used to in packages like AutoCAD and DraftSight are all automated in SolidWorks electrical schematics. Talking of automation, we've also got some great tools when it comes to connectors, but also PLCs as well. So if I create a new document and throw down a connector, I can place down any connector from my library. I'm going to go with a Molex 9-pin. We could also search for crimps and additional accessories, all from our standard library. I can place it down on the page. and just copy and paste to give myself a few more. We can also rotate and invert symbols on the right click. Attributes can all be moved. We can also hide them away to ensure a tidy graphic is achieved. Copy and paste again. So let's just do a simple loom here. So it's not just cabinet design we can do within the package. We can also generate designs for looms as well. If I now connect this with some wires, let's just pick one of my standard wire styles. Choose the number of wires that you want. And I can very easily just connect them up between the two. Like so. And again, numbering. So the drawing process is really quick and easy. It's very simple to produce looms like this within SolidWorks Electrical. Also for PLCs, as a final point, I can come into my PLC manager, search my database as well, which is up to date with all of my PLCs that I'm interested in. So for me, it's Siemens, Rockwell, and also Omron and Mitsubishi that I've downloaded the libraries from. There's a central website you can log into, which is managed by SolidWorks, which supplies up-to-date information for PLC manufacturers. Let's pick one of these Siemens PLCs and locate it on my drawings. I can literally just say generate drawing sheets, OK, and it all comes through onto my schematic sheet. So taking a look at what's happened then, if I go back to my project, I've now got sheets 19 through to 23. You can see here it's produced that PLC, it's all been generated. I've even got my document watermarked because I haven't yet approved my documentation. It all comes through and it's broken it down into 5 separate sheets for me, so I can now begin to connect up the connections on this particular PLC. So regardless of what PLC it is, this standard configuration will resize based on the information from that particular supplier. Within SolidWorks Electrical Schematics, we also have the capability of doing panel layouts. So based on what's within the project, you can actually work through a list of components from the project and insert them on a 2D drawing sheet which is scaled. So I can place down my backplate and my door. I can place down some ducting as well, either typing in an exact length or just doing it by eye. I could do vertical ducts as well, but for simplicity, I'll just copy and paste the horizontal information. And each component from the project has its own footprint. So we've got another standard library supplied of standard footprints, which we can manage. We can download footprints from manufacturers as well, if you so wished. But supplied as standard are generic blocks, which we can make use of, which are in 2D format. They will always be the right size, as long as the dimensions within the part are correct. So in the library, it will use these dimensions to scale the block that's inserted, so you can accurately size up a cabinet before you even need to physically prototype it. We can also insert items in a group as well. So I could select all of these breakers and the transformer, place them down on the schematic and specify a spacing for them. I could also very easily place down my terminal block as per what I did on the schematic. So I hope you found that useful. That's SolidWorks Electrical Schematics. Please look at our YouTube channel for further videos on the product.